Hello and welcome back to a new IELTS Express Academic Writing Task 2 Essay Analysis. We have reached essay number 5, and today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic which is discussed by everybody nowadays, both teenagers and adults and middle-aged people alike, the importance of physical activity. And we are going to deal with a problem solution essay. These kind of questions are much easier than you think. You don't have to panic. I mean, you probably discuss problems and solutions in your day-to-day life all the time. So all you have to do is to keep it simple. In today's lesson, we are going to look at an IELTS past paper question, which aims at band 5 and band 5.5. We're going to understand the task. We're going to have a look at the essay structure, and then we're going to chop it down and have a look at each individual paragraph. Introduction, body paragraphs, and then conclusion. So let's get started. So we're going to start with understanding the task. As I have previously mentioned before, you should spend around 4 to 5 minutes, even if you spend 6 to 7 minutes out of those 40 minutes to understand the task, to plan, to underline keywords, to jot down some main ideas, brainstorm. You still have time, 30 minutes to actually write the essay, and then you can also save 3 to 4 minutes towards the end of the essay to reread, to revise, to refine, to check for mistakes, spelling mistakes, grammar, punctuation, and so on. So let's have a look at the question. This is the question that we have. Before we get started, I want to tell you that problem solution questions are one of the most common IELTS writing task questions on the academic paper. And despite being very common, many students fail to do well in these questions. So this is why I have chosen to do this lesson, because we're going to look at some of the most common mistakes and then take you through how to answer these kind of questions step by step. Okay, so you should spend about 40 minutes on the task. Yes, we know this, and you should stick to this one. And then we'll have the topic. Many adults nowadays do no physical activity in their free time. This is your problem, and this is the problem you need to consider. And then you have two questions. Why do you think this is happening? And what can we do to solve the problem? Now, these two questions are two parts of the question, actually. The first one, why do you think this is happening? The why means you have to identify the reasons from the problem, and then what can we do to solve? Solve means solution, and then the solution to the problem. So you have the question, it means that you have to write both about the reasons and then the solutions to the problem. Nothing too complicated, right? And then, of course, besides the fact that you have to give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge and experience, this is what you're going to have at the bottom of each academic writing task 2 question, no matter how many times you have taken the exam. And then write at least 250 words. Again, you should stick to the minimum number of words. You can go 260 to have 270, that's totally fine. From my experience, if you write around 300 words, and if you exceed the 300 words, I don't know, these are very rare occasions. I don't think you have the time to write 300 words. And if you do have the time, it means that you need to bring forth new ideas. Again, relevant. So you shouldn't repeat yourself. You shouldn't paraphrase the same idea and rewrite about it again. All right, so we have analyzed the question. We have underlined keywords. We know what we have to do. We have the problem. We know that we have to write about reasons and then the solutions. So let's get started. Let's have a look at how we should plan this one. Now, again, I strongly recommend the same paragraph plan. Introduction, paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on how many ideas you have, and then the conclusion. Now, when you have a problem and solution, you can go, you can do it like this. You can either have a problem and then solution, and that will be paragraph 1, and then you continue until you have and paragraph n, right? So you deal with problem solution, problem solution, problem solution. That will be one technique. Or you can write problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, so on and so forth, and then in the next paragraph you write solution 1, solution 2, so on and so forth. However, I think that the second type of structure is a little bit trickier. You can use this one, but you have to be very organized. I usually recommend my students to go with one problem, one solution, one problem, one solution. If they want to write about all solutions in one paragraph, they have to be very careful not to forget the problems they have mentioned before. So they should also mention the solutions. Today we're going to have a little bit a longer essay. We're going to have an essay with 3 body paragraphs, and we're going to have a look at the essay which follows the second structure: problem, 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 and then the solutions are dealt with in the final body paragraph. Okay, let's have a look. We're starting with the introduction. As you can see, this is a 1-sentence introduction. That's totally fine. And again, you should be paraphrasing the question. Keep your introduction short and to the point. You shouldn't be giving any, I don't know, make any historical references about physical activities. You should talk about the history of fitness, so on and so forth. No, you should give like some sort of a background, if you want to call it so, and most importantly, you should paraphrase the question. And here we have a paraphrase of the question. It is a sad fact, meaning a problem, that many people today do no sport or other physical exercise in their spare time. In order for you to get a band 7 or more, I would have developed this introduction a little bit more. Maybe I would have mentioned briefly the solutions that then I'm going to write in more details in the body paragraph. But since we're talking about a band 5 essay, that's totally fine. So the introduction is all right. We're moving on to the first paragraph. And if you have a look, just the first thing, one reason, besides the fact that you should begin each body paragraphs with a topic sentence, is that there are so many other tempting things for people to do. Yeah. You can also see that the candidate here has signpost. One reason for this. Too many other tempting things for people to do. Here is TV channel, sorry, a typo. And here the candidate details. TV channels to watch, exciting computer games to play. So we have 1, computer games to play. You can easily spend hours on social networking sites. Yes, guilty as charged. And then if you're out, there are cafes, cinemas, and shops to keep you away from the gym. But this is only one reason. So this means that the candidate is going to give more reasons why this problem persists, why people choose not to do any physical activity. Moving on to the second body paragraph, you can see you have here a further reason. So this means it's the second one. So I said that they're other tempting things such as TV, so on and so forth. Then people who work long hours these days. And then the paragraph is developed and it's also supported with linking words or phrases. As a result, people do not have enough energy to go for a run or a game of tennis when they eventually get home from work. So this would be the second reason. As you can see, the candidate here has dealt with 2 different reasons. They haven't combined the reasons. The first one was temptations, TV channels, games, cafes, cinemas, social media. Here, people work a lot. All right. So, as I said, this essay is going to be a little bit lengthier, I have dealt with reasons, which means that the third body paragraph, which is a little bit longer, will deal with solutions. And if you have a look at the first sentence, it will not be easy to find a solution to this problem. It's very important for you to use appropriate phrases to refer to solutions, and you have some synonyms here. Find the solution, provide the solution, one solution might be another possible solution, so on and so forth. And if you read, you see that the candidate here has thought about the first solution to be, I think schools have a key role, and then in the next sentences the candidate develops the idea, young children need to learn how important and how enjoyable physical activity is, and then linking words in addition, so adding an extra idea. Teachers should help each student find a sport, and then the candidate goes with the second solution, the government funding can also help provide the solution. Should fund sport centers to make it possible for everyone to participate in sport, even if you don't have much money, right? And then the candidate also explains how the solutions might help, using also modal verbs such as should, found. Also, they need to learn, should help. Okay, some will find swimming or athletics more fun. So what did the candidate do here? In the first two body paragraphs, he talked about two reasons, and then in the third paragraph, he introduced two solutions for the reasons, for the problem. And I think this is a very good paragraph, even though it's a little bit lengthier. It's coherent, it's not complicated. Yes, the vocabulary and grammar could be graded, but again, for band 5, this is totally fine. So we're moving on to the very last paragraph for our essay, the conclusion. You can either start with in conclusion or all in all. If you want to introduce your final paragraph, remember your conclusion should conclude, should briefly restate what you have mentioned before. You shouldn't introduce any new ideas. And what's also very important towards the end, as I said, save 3 to 4 minutes to reread your essay and to check that everything is in place, especially if your ideas are organized well, if you have any language or spelling mistakes. And then you might say, okay, fine, I do save 3 to 4 minutes at the end of the essay to reread my essay, but what happens if I find like huge glaring mistakes? Well, you cross them out with the line and you try to amend the mistake. This is why planning is crucial at the beginning of the essay. You shouldn't start writing as a stream of consciousness. And the second thing, which is also very important, you should practice beforehand as much as you can. And that would be it. Yes, this lesson was a little bit lengthier because we had 2 questions to deal with, and it's very important for you to know exactly how to deal with problem and solution essays. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you have found this lesson useful. If you have found it useful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and you can also share this lesson with your friends who might be preparing for IELTS exam. Until next time, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to keep practice on your English. Bye bye.